Okay, let's see. I believe I am live. Awesome. I'm gonna adjust. With the time change recently, it's a little off now, but I usually around 7 o'clock. I decided to go 6 o'clock today, but usually around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and so yeah, I will let's see. Yes. I usually do, like I said, I usually do these on 7 o'clocks on Sunday afternoons. And so, um, yeah. And then I basically just talk about everything movie related. I go over the things that I watched in the previous week. And we have a chat going on. And so if you have any comments, questions, concerns, things that you guys want to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat and I will get to it. So, yes, and if you're watching this on the playback, I promise you, it's not usually this chaotic right off the bat. But if you're watching this on the playback, thank you for taking the time to watch this. And anything that is discussed in this live stream, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you on that. So, yes, I do read all of the comments, so it is one of my favorite parts about this channel. Let's see here. Yeah, so this week's been kind of a crazy week for me, personally, and I um I just feel like it has been one of those weeks that I have not really had a ton of time to watch movies, and so I have a small stack of films here. Let's see, I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, nine films that I watched between because I didn't do a live stream last week, and so I wanted to quickly talk about the films that I watched last week because there was a couple in there that I was excited to talk about, and so between last week and this week, I have watched nine films. Um, but yes, I usually try to watch at least one movie a day. Sometimes that doesn't work, but yes, let me jump into the comments real quick here. Let's see. Let's see. Name one WWE studio movie. I can't besides Oculus with clock or whatever. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what WWE studio movies. I know what was it called now? Um, was it Behind Enemy Lines? Those films I feel like had WWE behind it. I could be mistaken in that, but yeah, I'm not super familiar with WWE studios. But Mr. Bob says, I watched your comedy collection and I thought it would have been bigger. Yeah, like I said in the video, I just feel like I'm not super into comedies. Definitely my favorite genre of all time is horror. And so that's where I primarily focus in on collecting. And I have a small collection of comedy. I have like I don't know, like maybe 100, 200-ish titles, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I kind of liked having them separated out now because in the past they were just kind of mixed in with a bunch of stuff, and I kind of like having everything separated. But um, let's see, the Trek reviewer. I think that's the first time I've seen your name pop up on the chat. So welcome to the live stream. You said I am not much of a movie person. I am more into old TV shows. Nice. Yes, I definitely I like old TV shows as well. I always run into I love Gilligan's Island. That's like one of my favorite like old TV shows. I remember just watching like reruns of that just on like late night television, just like pop up on because growing up I didn't have um cable, and so Gilligan's Island was just on basic TV or whatever. And I remember just watching that like it was 2, 3 in the morning, and that would just come on, and I always loved it. But yes, old TV shows. I really want to watch the complete series of I Love Lucy. That's high on my list. I just need to get a box set of that at some point. And yeah, there's a couple other ones out there that I like, but unfortunately, when it comes to either movies versus shows, for me personally, I always just run into um, the fact that if I have an extra hour or so, I'm just gonna probably throw in a movie and not a show, just because a show takes up so much more time than a film. Um, let's see. I'm gonna turn this light down. It's like blinding me right now. Okay, sorry about that. I'm still like, as I said earlier, I'm still um, adjusting lighting and stuff because of some pieces that are moving within the movie room. So I do apologize, but um, yes, let's see. Let's see. Francesco says a guy in Marketplace has all Chucky films on 4K for $250. Um, he paid over 350, he said, on the ad. Yeah, I feel like all the Chucky films on 4K, if it's there was an Arrow Video box set with all of the films on 4K, and then there was the Scream Factory 4K releases. I feel like 350 is high. I mean, even if he's asking 250 for them, I feel like that's really high. Um, yeah, I mean, there's not that many. How many is there? There's six, seven. I think there's seven, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that seems high to me. But let's see, Ready or Not Part Two is getting made. Any interest? I have yet to watch Ready or Not Part One. I've owned that movie for a while now in my collection, and I have yet just to sit down and watch it. So I probably won't see it in theaters. Maybe when it comes out on disc, maybe I'll pick it up at some point. But that's if I like the first film. But um, yeah, I'm not. I feel like the first one seems okay to me. I'm not really anxious to watch it at any point. I've been it's been on my shelf for a couple years now, but um, let's see. Thoughts on Milk in the Bag now that you seen it? Yes, yes. I saw you send me the photo on Instagram. The Milk in the Bag seemed interesting. That's definitely something we do not have here in the U.S. At least as far as I know. Maybe some places in the U.S. have it, but um, yeah, where I currently live, it is not a thing. But if you want, I can give you a link to a list of shows I have on DVD. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Go ahead and message me over on Instagram if you have that. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. Or you can also email me at kylesmoviecollection@gmail.com. So those are the two easiest ways. I think both of those are, if I'm not mistaken, have links of them in the I believe it's in my description in one of the in my videos or stuff. But have you seen the voyage to the bottom of see have you seen the voyage to the bottom of the movie? I'm assuming the voyage to the bottom of the sea movie. um yes, I have. It's been many years since I have seen it. I owned it at one point and I got rid of it. I'm not really sure why, but apparently I remember buying it and then maybe I traded it in for something, but I think I have it on Laserdisc now. But it's yeah, I have seen it, and I actually own the show Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, but I have not watched that yet. Have you seen Jeepers Creepers 3 and Reborn? I have not. I own Jeepers Creepers 3 on DVD, but I have not watched it yet. And I have not come across a copy of Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Um, so, yes, those are. I feel like I liked the first Jeepers Creepers movie. I remember liking. It's been many years since I've seen any of them, the first two at least, but I remember liking them. But yeah, I feel like Jeepers Creepers 3, I just haven't gotten around to checking out. Let's see. Yeah, it's over there. But hey, Kyle. Hope all is well. Yes. Yes. Everything is fantastic. I this week has been a little crazy for me. And I mean, thankfully here in Ohio, the weather seems to be breaking, which is fantastic, and so that's always a good thing. The one day I basically just spent all day outside. I think it was last Tuesday. I spent all day outside because it was just absolutely beautiful out, and then Ohio being Ohio, we got snow, a day later, but that is just the unfortunate part of being in Ohio. So thankfully, it seems though now the weather is breaking a little bit, and I'm very anxious to get some house projects going, and yeah, just some things I've been wanting to do all winter, but the weather's just been terrible. Um, let's see, have you seen The Monkey? I have not, no, but I do want to see it. It looks interesting. I am I'm very curious on it. Let's see, I'm going to get Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the series, at some point, but it is very expensive. Yes, I actually was fortunate enough to find it at a store that I go to very frequently and talk about very frequently on this channel, the Retro Attic, and I think I got each season for $2 a piece, I think. Um, and the thing is, like, seasons, I think maybe is it season one? A couple of the seasons are broken into a part one and part two, if I'm not mistaken. At least on DVD. I don't know about Blu-ray; it might be different if it even is available on Blu-ray. But let's see, any new thrifts will have. Let's see, any new tariffs will have on DVD sales, increasing costs. Yeah, I'm not sure. Any new tariffs will have on DVD sales. Um, Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't really thought too much about that, but thankfully, I mean, mostly the movies that I buy here in Ohio, I pretty much just buy exclusive. I mean, I buy a lot at the Retro Attic, or I buy off eBay. It's very rare that actually I purchase something from a company overseas because the shipping cost is insane. I mean, companies like Umbrella, um, there's a lot of great films that I would love to purchase, but I mean, shipping from Umbrella is like $20. Unless if you spend 140, then you get free shipping. But I mean, $140 is a lot of money for movies. And I mean, there's other companies like 88 Films is a great one that I would love to buy more from, and Eureka. But a lot of great overseas companies. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't increase the cost of DVDs too much. Let's see, your Arrow box set, I think it's called Horror Volume 1 with Frankenstein. It released in 2020. Can you show us the set? Arrow box set, I think it's called Horror. Is it Horror Projects Volume 1? I believe that's. Does it have Frankenstein? I'll grab my Horror Projects Volume 1. I don't know if. I think that, yeah, let me grab it. Okay, so this is the horror American Horror Project Volume 1. Is this the set that you were thinking of? I think this is the only one. I think it's the only one that I can think of that has Volume 1 and horror in the title. But yes, this is a box set that I've not gotten to dive into yet. But yeah, it has. Just, this is the limited edition, so it's comes with the booklet, but I guess I will do a quick. Unfortunately, I have not really got a chance to dive, like, I mean, to even like look at some of this stuff. I feel like I've been so busy that pretty much I got it and then it's been sitting on the shelf since, and so, which I always hate. I hate like not taking the time to actually like flip through these booklets um, and then just the booklet here. So yeah, this is one that I'm excited to get into eventually. But okay. See, all four seasons are broken up into two parts. At least the ones I have seen. Yes, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Okay. I knew there were some that were broken up, but yeah, all four. Interesting. But yes, I'm going to dive into some of the films that I watched over this last 2 weeks because I have not done a live stream in the 2 weeks. So the first one that I wanted to talk about, this is actually on the 26th of last month. This is a 4K from Blue Underground, and that is the film Daughters of Darkness. I have this fun slipcover. I knew nothing about this film going into it, but I will say I loved the setting. Setting place basically takes place at this hotel, or this, I guess it is a hotel, but it's like during their off season, and so there's like nobody in it, and it's a fun. It's like I feel like you're kind of questioning if I feel like you're questioning if things are happening the way that you were thinking they were happening. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it without giving it away. So maybe I won't even say anything. But um, yes. And then on the 27th of last month, I watched the film for the first time, Blood and Black Lace. This is a Mario Bava film. Brava. I never know how to say his name. And yes, I knew nothing about this, but I will say I was honestly, the coloring for this film was absolutely incredible. There was a ton of interesting uses of lighting and stuff, and I really liked that. The story, though, for me personally, was just like lacking a little bit. And so I feel like really the coloring of like the use of lighting made me like that film more than probably I should, or more than I would have if it didn't have interesting lighting. But I really just feel like the lighting or the story I just wish was like a little better. And then on the 28th of the month, I watched a Criterion film. This is Spy Number 397, and that's Ivan's Childhood. This is a Andrei Tarkovsky film that I have I've never seen before. This is like one of two, I believe. I think I've there's only like two Andrei Tarkovsky films that I've not seen, and I think it was this and The Sacrifice. And so I sat down and watched this, and it was absolutely beautiful. It definitely feels like this was his first feature film. It feels like a first feature film because I feel like, yes, it's beautiful and it's like very well done. It's a very impressive first feature film, but it doesn't have the same like you can tell he wasn't able to, or he at this point in his career he didn't develop his style yet, and so yeah, not quite like his other films, but still very, very good. And then on the 28th of the month as well, I watched the film Rings. This is the third entry in the Ring franchise. This is one that I definitely missed in theaters because I remember when it did come out, I was just kind of not really interested. It came out in 2017 because I felt like it was just kind of a cheap grab at just making a sequel to something for the sake of making a sequel. And I will say they did some interesting things in this film. I almost wish that it lasted a little longer. There's some ideas in there that I feel like if you saw like happen further on, I feel like it would have been a little bit more interesting. There were, especially the ending, I felt like it was just missing like a little something. But overall, I actually really did like it, surprisingly. I was not anticipating liking it, but yeah, it was a fun one. And then on the first of the month, I watched the film for the first time, Ace in the Hole. This is a Billy Wilder, and it was such a I don't even know. It was such a well put together film that I really, really enjoyed. Um, and I feel like going into it not knowing anything really ups the experience. And I mean, Kirk Douglas is the character, which it's almost, I mean, he's not in some ways he's not a likable character. I feel like in many ways he is um an anti-hero in some ways. I don't even know how, like, maybe not even anti-hero. He was just a um he's a character that I feel like he I really don't know how to describe him. There's many times that I was so frustrated with him as a character, but it is so well done, and I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. Um, I don't want to say anything because I feel like when you go into it not knowing anything, it really is a better experience. But let's see. I'll do let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I'll stop right there for now, and I have 4 more titles to talk about. But see, Brent says that's the first time I saw your name pop up in the live chat, so welcome to the live stream. Kino Lorber's 4K release of Tarkovsky's Sacrifice is fantastic. Every Tarkovsky film is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with every film that he made is a masterpiece. I will say that with Ivan's Childhood, I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's don't get me wrong, it is a truly a beautiful film. It just doesn't have the same, in my opinion, at least, it doesn't have the same feeling as like just say Stalker or something like that, where he was able to kind of develop his more um, the he was able to develop more of his style. But and yes, Kino Lorber came out recently with a 4K transfer of The Sacrifice. I have the Kino Lorber Blu-ray. I've not been able to upgrade yet, but I really want to because I got the Kino Lorber Nostalgia, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's on 4K. And The Sacrifice, I feel like that would be the best version of the film that I can get. And I really wish Tarkovsky films got like a Criterion box set. Between Tarkovsky and David Lynch, I feel like those are 2 directors that, maybe they would get, a box set or something. Like, I feel like that would be such a, I don't know, such a great addition to the Criterion collection. Let's see. Now Dewey is coming back for Scream 7 as himself. I am just like not mad but annoyed. Yeah, I feel like Scream 7, I almost feel like in some ways like when films start announcing who's going to be in the film early, I feel like that almost puts up like expectations for the film like ahead of time. And so in many ways I feel like it's better just to like not know who's going to be in the movie, or who's playing who or anything like that, and just going into it opening day. But see, I was not able to message you on Instagram, so I put it as a comment on your photos from December 7th, 2023. Interesting. Yes, I'll have to double check that. Yeah, I don't know. It should have let you put a message through on Instagram. I don't think it shouldn't be private or anything. Yeah, I'll have to double check that. I'm sorry about that. Saying Kirk Douglas was a good actor. I have 2 movies with him in it. They are In Harm's Way and Champagne. Champion. Yes, I don't know if I've seen either of those. I'll have to double check. I don't think I have either of those either. Yes, Kirk Douglas was a fantastic actor. I really like him in. Oh, what is he in? He's in Spartacus, and he was in Paths of Glory, 2 Stanley Kubrick films, which I really wish that the like Stanley Kubrick also would get a 4K box set in the Criterion collection or something. I feel like he's just one of those directors that every single film that he ever touched was an absolute masterpiece. And it's a crime that we don't have a 4K of Barry Lyndon from the Criterion collection, or a 4K of Eyes Wide Shut, honestly, both of which I think would just look absolutely beautiful in 4K. And he's one of those directors that I don't mind upgrading his films to the highest possible format, because every single movie that he ever made is just absolutely amazing. But Excelsior Movie Reviews, welcome to the live stream. Ace in the Hole is a great one. I've always learned about Criterions that I've never heard of. when I watch your channel, since you're collecting the entire collection. Yes, I love that about the Criterion Collection. I think that's one. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend everyone to try to collect the whole Criterion Collection, just because it's not feasible, or for a lot of people. I mean, even for me, it's kind of not super feasible at some points. But it's also, some people don't. Their taste in movies might not be what the Criterion Collection has to offer. And I personally love just collecting all the Criterion because I'm discovering new movies all the time. I think some people would say the same thing about trying to collect all the Vinegar Syndrome titles, or all Kino Lorber, or Severin, or Arrow, or Scream Factory, or all of those companies, because you are kind of getting a curated collection. So there is a company out there that is doing all the heavy lifting, or the hard work of finding the films, and putting them out there so you can like access them. Um, and I would say it's very rare when I come across a Criterion film that I watch that I'm just like, that's not great. But overall, I'd say that's what I love about discovering new Criterion, is because of just, there's films in there that I probably would have passed up on if it wasn't within the Criterion Collection. Um, yeah. Let's see. I lost my spot. Let's see. I also wish we could get a definitive Blu-ray, or even a 4K box set of Kurosawa. Yes, yes, I have the. I definitely think that would be a fantastic addition to the Criterion Collection. I have the old DVD set that looks like a giant brick. But I think that would look, I mean, if they basically just made that again, but for Blu-ray or 4K, that would be absolutely fantastic, because Kurosawa is just one of those directors that is so influential, and so many just great films that he's made over the year, like over his career. And it's kind of nice to see, there are a couple Kurosawa films that are getting 4K transfers, whether that's Dreams, or Seven Samurai, I believe, got a 4K. If I'm like 90% sure on that, I could be mistaken. But and yeah, it's kind of nice to see some of his films getting 4K. But yeah. Let's see. In Harm's Way is a World War II movie starring John Wayne. Gotcha. In Harm's Way. I'm assuming you meant in Harm's Way. Gotcha. Let's see. Is Ghoulies any good? I got it, but just forgot it. It's on my shelf. Never seen it. I liked it. I was not anticipating Ghoulies to be what it was. I feel like I was expecting it to be more like almost like on the same line of like Critters, or like a Gremlins type of movie, but it was not quite what I was anticipating. I have the 4K from what is MVD Video. I think it's MVD. MVD, yes, the Rewind collection, which I think this is the second film in their like lineup. I think the third one was Ghoulies 2. And it was interesting, but not quite. I mean, like I said, I wasn't quite what I was expecting. One thing nice about these editions is like the cover looks like the old like CED, which I absolutely love. And then it also comes with like the poster in here, which is awesome. Especially for like, I remember like these when they started coming out, because I bought the first two like brand new, you pretty much like on release day, because I was like, oh, it's kind of a new label in a way. Not quite a new label, because they had the MVD like Blu-rays, but this was the first time they were putting out 4Ks, and I just like bought them up because it was a fun new label. Yes. Let's see. Totally agree about it being a crime Barry Lyndon doesn't have a 4K release. Yes, I do not understand why Criterion hasn't done that. There's several films that they've released on 4K or upgraded to 4K that I would have definitely put after. For example, Seventh Seal. Seventh Seal, great film. Don't get me wrong, but I personally would have loved to see Barry Lyndon get a 4K before Seventh Seal. And I mean, there's a few other ones that have come out that I just feel like, I mean, Barry Lyndon is such a visual film that it has so much visual. It's a very visually heavy film that I definitely think that it would benefit from a 4K transfer. I'm still waiting. It'd be great if we got an Eyes Wide Shut 4K from Criterion, because no label has even touched Eyes Wide Shut, as far as I know, at least in the region 1 American releasing. And yeah, I wish Eyes Wide Shut would get a 4K edition. But see, I do not have a lot of, I do not have a lot of movies, but I do have all 13 of the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movies. I am not familiar with those. Let me look them up quickly. Okay, so yes, I see all the. I do not have any of those, but that's interesting. That's awesome. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes actually is. I heard somewhere. I don't know if this is still true or not, but Sherlock Holmes has been the most adapted character in any medium, whether that's books or movies or whatever. Yes, I like he's been the one that's been like played the most, or so I don't know if that's how accurate that still is, but yeah, Sherlock Holmes. I'm not a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I do have a couple films throughout my collection, but that's awesome. See, I wish that Kurosawa's Ran would get a 4K release on Criterion. It's out of print on DVD. Yes, and actually to give a small sneak peek to one of my next videos that's coming up. It won't be this next video, but it'll be the video after that. But I did actually pick up Kurosawa's Ran on Criterion DVD, and so I'll talk about that more in that collection update video. But yes, I was very happy to find it at a good price on DVD, because sometimes that one just goes for $60, $70, $80, and it's so annoying. But yes, that is one that I wish would get a 4K through Criterion, because I know there is a 4K transfer, but it's not through Criterion. So it's kind of like the same with Contempt. I like Jean-Luc Godard's Contempt is one of my favorite Criterion films, and it's an absolutely just a beautiful film, and I love it. But it has out of print on DVD in the Criterion collection, but there is a 4K. I don't think it's released by a specific label. I might be wrong, but I wish that it would just get a 4K transfer from Criterion with all the special features. What is Pound for Pound? Sorry, what is Pound for Pound the worst horror franchise in your opinion? Ooh, worst horror franchise? There's a couple franchises that comes to mind that it's not like my favorite. The Paranormal Activity franchise, I don't mind them, but they're not great. I know it kind of started the whole found footage craze, but I'd maybe say Paranormal Activity. I haven't seen all of them, so I might take that back later. But the Leprechaun movies also were kind of rough for me to get through. They're not bad, but they're definitely not like my favorite type of film. They're definitely more comedy horror in many ways, but let's see. I'm trying to see. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the Pumpkinhead franchise. I know some people love Pumpkinhead, but personally, I just was not really into the first two films. I've not seen, I think there's two more, if I'm not mistaken, maybe one more. And let me pick one more quickly. There is a franchise that is just, I mean, some people might not consider this to be horror, but I mean, I guess Silent Night, Deadly Night, some of those are kind of rough, especially the sequel, but that's also just like a fun horror film. Um, Man, because also Birdemic, the trilogy of Birdemic, those are, if you consider those horror. Um, the Underworld franchise also, for whatever reason, it's taken me forever to get into that series. I've seen the first film and I've owned them for like a decade, and I've yet to really watch any of them. So uh, I don't know. That's a great question, though. Let's see. Yeah, there's just certain films that I am personally waiting for the 4K to buy. The Leopard, War and Peace, Age of Innocence, for example. For example, yes, I have. I think the Leopard on Blu-ray. Age of Innocence, I have. I do not own the Criterion, but I have just on DVD with my Martin Scorsese films. And War and Peace, I have on Blu-ray. But yes, it's one that I have not watched. Actually, I have it right here. I've not watched it yet because it is 422 minutes, and it's in Russian. But I'm excited to watch it. I feel like it's going to be one that will be a fun one. Yeah, and there are, the thing is, like, it is, in some ways it's almost frustrating when um I'll buy a film and then that following month they'll announce that, I'll buy it on Blu-ray, and that following month it will just get released on 4K, which I understand. I am happy that they are upgrading some titles. There was one, what is it called? um The Devil and Daniel Webster was a great example of one that I bought on DVD. And then that, like, following sale, that following announcement was released on Blu-ray. So, I'll eventually upgrade back, like get the Blu-ray, but for now, I'll just hold on to my DVD copy. See, have you seen The Village by M. Night Shyamalan? I have. It's been many years since I have seen it, and I remember liking it. I'm not like a huge M. Night fan. I've seen a lot of his films, but he's definitely one of those directors that is a hit or miss. Mostly misses for me. Like, I just got rid of my Blu-ray copy of The Village. I feel like a lot of his movies don't have the rewatchability factor to them, in my opinion, at least. And I mean, I feel like his earlier works, like Signs, was great. He did Signs, right? Yeah. Or The Sixth Sense was great. But I just feel like a lot of his earlier works have that rewatchability, but his later works just don't, in my opinion. So I've not seen Old, I've not seen Glass, I've not seen Split, and I've not seen Unbreakable is another one I've not seen of his, and his most recent film set at the concert. I don't know what it was. Trap. Yes, I've not seen that either. So there's a lot of those that I've not seen. And Knock at the Cabin. I think that was him. But um, see, I think ironically the best version of Ran is actually that out of print Criterion DVD. The colors are washed out and not good in that new 4K. Interesting. I've heard that with some 4K transfers where, you know I mean, there was the famous Terminator 2 that the transfer looked absolutely terrible. Um, and so there was that version, or that early 4K transfer that nobody liked, and which is actually ironic. Which, this is a quick side story. That was one that I bought brand new from Best Buy years ago, like many years ago when it first came out. I think I paid like $12 for it or something, and it sat on my shelf unopened for, you know I don't even know, like 2, 3, maybe 4 years. And because I was like, oh, I've seen the movie. I don't need to get around to watching it on 4K. I'll eventually open it up and watch it. And then I actually did open it up and watch it. And ironically enough, it was missing the 4K disc, which just drove me insane because by then it was way too past the when I purchased it to return it, or see if I could get another copy. And so I had to, unfortunately, just live with just having a random Blu-ray in a 4K like disc, or a 4K case. And so I eventually came across a 4K, like just the disc, for sale. I think it was on eBay or something, and so I purchased it. I think it was only a couple bucks, and so I had the complete, um, 4K. But I went through all of that work for a really lousy transfer, which was so unfortunate. But so now because of that, anytime I buy a movie or buy a movie brand new, I will just go ahead and open it because just in case if there's like the weird like chance that in the factory when they were putting the discs everything together, maybe the machine didn't put a disc in the case. So um yes, that happens I think twice actually to me, where I bought something without the wrong item was within the case. Um, so, um, are all the Planet of the Apes movies connected, and are they all good? So yes and no. There's the new trilogy, or now it's 4 films. There's the new films. There's like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Rise. I think it's Rise. What is it now? There's Kingdom, Rise, Dawn, and something else. I forget what the other film is, but there's that franchise. Then there's the Tim Burton offshoot remake kind of film, and then there were the original films. There was like Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and there's I think it was 5 films total. I think those 5 are connected. There's the new series that's connected, and then the offshoot. I have not seen all of the old ones. I've only seen 2 of them. I have a cool like box set, but and um, I let's see, I have that one, but I've watched 2 of the films. I've seen all of the new ones, and I've seen the Tim Burton version. So I would say the new series is good. I personally wasn't a huge fan of the newest one, which is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was okay. It felt like an unnecessary sequel. It just kind of felt like I feel like the story wrapped up pretty well in the trilogy. It was such a solid trilogy, and it just kind of felt like a money grab, in my opinion. But I mean, the original one's also just classic. So. I do not know if you have it, but To Hell and Back, starring Audrey Murphy, is a classic. To Hell and Back. Let me see if I have that. Yes and no. I feel like I have it in like a multi-feature like war pack. At least I did. I might have gotten rid of it though recently because I was kind of doing some decluttering in my movie collection, and that might have been one that it was like a 4 pack of like war films, and but yes, if I do still have it, I'll have to watch it. But what early to mid 2010s horror movie aged the best for you to consider a classic? Early to mid 2010s. Ooh, I'm terrible when it comes to like remembering when movies came out. Um, so let's do this. I just Googled mid 2010s horror film. I mean, Cabin in the Woods is fantastic. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is also just it's so funny. But as far as a classic, if I had to consider one to become like a classic, I mean, Hereditary, that might be considered a classic someday. I don't know. It Follows was another one, or The Babadook. Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question though. I mean, I love Mandy. Mandy was with Nicolas Cage. I loved that movie. I saw that actually in theaters, which is fun. Um, but yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about a classic or what I would consider to be a classic from that era. I had something similar happen with a Criterion movie. I can't remember the Criterion Blu-ray, but it randomly came with a true story booklet in it. Yes, I feel like that happens every now and then, where it's like for whatever reason when because I don't actually know the process of packaging movies. I'm assuming it's a machine, but yeah, where it's if something goes wrong, or it gets a random, booklet or a random disc that's not correct. Thankfully, I will say that companies are pretty good about fixing that problem, or sending out replacement discs or stuff like that, which is always frustrating when like you do get hit with like a replacement disc, because especially if you bought the item used, you might not get a replacement disc. There's a couple titles in my collection that I know came with a replacement disc or originally was released with one, but I bought them used, and so I, don't have that disc. Let me think. But yes, there was a. That's interesting that it came with a true story booklet in it. Let's see, To Hell and Back is in a couple of different multi packs. In fact, I have it in a 20 pack and by itself. Yes, I had. So I recently just put in my to go pile. I have a bunch of those 20 pack horror things. Let's see, kind of stuff like this where it has a multi feature pack. I had like, I don't even know. I had ones that were like 20 packs. I have one that's like a 50 pack. But I'm holding on to this one mainly because of 976 Evil 2 and Ghoulies 3 and Shud 2, Class of 1999. I mean, this has Chopping Mall, some actually fantastic films on here. Some of these I don't have in my collection, other than in this, but I know those multi packs were popular there for a while, especially in like the Walmart $5 bin. And yeah, I'm getting rid of a bunch of them because I know the quality is just absolutely terrible. Most of the time, besides the example I just showed, are movies that you've never heard of. They're low budget and not like fun low budget. They're just like bad low budget films. So yeah, especially with the quantity of films I have, I'm like, I'm not going to take 2 hours and watch some of these movies ever. I have so much else to watch, so I started to declutter stuff like that. There's definitely more that I should get rid of, but I'm going to jump back here into the last 4 films that I watched over the last 2 weeks, because this next one I wanted to talk about, and that is, I watched this on the 2nd of the month, and that is the film Vortex. This is a Gaspar Noé film, and this is starring Dario Argento, which is fun because this is the first time I've ever seen him act in a film. I'm sure he's acted in other films, but this is one that he's like the main character in. And this movie was very very depressing. It was a very sad film. It's dealing with this husband and wife, this elderly couple of a husband and wife living in France, I want to say, maybe Paris. I'm not sure exactly where in France, but and the it is so sad because the wife is it has dementia, and it's like early signs of dementia, and just dealing with that, and it is heartbreaking. This is the latest film by Gaspar, and yeah, this is one that I've been wanting to check out. It's like 2 hours long. It does a very, very interesting thing where it splits the screen, and so half the screen is the camera stays on the husband, and half the screen the camera stays on the wife. And it is very interestingly shot. The apartment is that they're living in is just floor to ceiling with books and like, I mean, the guy, Dario Argento's character is writing a book about movies, and it feels so real. It feels like we are a fly on the wall, like, and I absolutely loved it. This is put out by a Utopia, which is a partner label of Vinegar Syndrome, and yes, it's a very, very interesting film that I really liked. I don't know if I'll be revisiting it anytime soon because it's a lot. It's a tragic film. But the next movie that I watched, this was all on the 2nd of the month as well, and this comes from Severin, and that is the film Blood Hunt. This, I guess, translates to Blood Hunt, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but here, I'll show it with the American cover. Blood Hunt. This was basically, in a way, a kind of like the most dangerous game in several ways, where it's just like this small town, and it's like the most dangerous game, like the story, but if it was amped up to be more people involved in a set in a small uh like I believe Mexican town, if I'm not mistaken. Spanish. Yeah, so um yeah, I it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. Very, very well done. And then on, let's see, the two movies that I watched this week. This I watched on the 4th of the month. Um, this is a film by one of my favorite directors that I really feel like is not. He does not. I mean, he's starting to get more recognition, but his films, I feel like, are not nearly as recognized as what they really should be, in my opinion. And that is the film. I believe this translates to That Most Important Thing, Love. This is a Andrei Zulawski film, and this is a from 1975. Um, and this, I mean, all of his films are just absolutely incredible. I believe this actually got put out by a partner label within Vinegar Syndrome's catalog as well. This has a Blu-ray release, but I personally like my DVD copy by Mondo Vision, which is a company that basically solely was releasing Zulawski films. And so this is a an interesting one. I feel like all of his movies are just almost better going into blind. And so I'm not going to say anything about the plot, but it is absolutely incredible. I mean, just like everything that he made. If you're not familiar with Andrei Zulawski, his most famous film, I would say, would be Possession, starring Sam Neill. And I forget what the girl's name is in it, though. Yes, but Possession from 1981, I believe. And his second most famous film was probably On the Silver Globe, which is a notorious unfinished film that will never see the finished product, but is a fantastic movie. And then the last movie I watched, let's see, this one I watched on the 6th of the month. So it's been a couple days actually since I've watched the movie. And this is Spy Number 359. This film is absolutely incredible. This has a lot to do with kind of somebody realizing that um, there is this whole other person that is like looks identical to them, and um, it's very, very, very interesting. I really actually liked it. It's 97 minutes long. It's in Polish and French with English subtitles. The coloring of this film is it has a very like soft feeling to it throughout the entire film, and which I really, really liked. I thought it did a really good job of conveying like um, building this world with this like almost like a yellow orange like hue to it, which um, I absolutely loved. But yes, that is everything that I watched over the last 2 weeks, um, and which I've definitely I'm. It's kind of sad because I feel like I should have watched more, but it just yeah, these last couple of days at least here have been kind of crazy because I've been doing some work down here. But let's see. So you're not going to see a better character performance than Tony Soprano. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Yes, I still need to watch The Sopranos. That's one show that I've owned. I have just never gotten around to watching. I have them all on a DVD. So maybe someday I'll get around to actually sitting down and watching. It's kind of like even like The Wire is another one of those shows that I feel like everyone has seen and everyone says that it's the greatest show ever made. Same thing with Breaking Bad. I've never finished Breaking Bad, but I need to. And yeah, it's yeah. See, I know what you mean. I have a couple of multi packs, and the only reason I watch all the movies on them is because I was out of work injured. Yeah, I have a couple of those like 50 movie packs. And I remember I popped a couple of them in because I was like staying at someone's house. I was like house sitting for them. And so I just grabbed one of those and threw it in my bag. because I knew they didn't have any movies, and so I was just basically watching a couple films on like a 50 movie pack. Um, but they're definitely great for like a rainy day or something that, like, I mean, on vacation, it's like a great like quick, um, like like a quick grab basically. But or just to have something playing on in the background. All I mean, all great, great options. But are you going to get into new horror NECA figures? They seem popular. I was just at Walmart yesterday, and I saw they had like an Alien Romulus horror figure, which looked fantastic. It was amazing, but I can't justify the price. They run for about $30 roughly a piece. Some are a little bit more, but and actually, the Retro Attic, he just got in a ton of brand new in box like NECA figures, and I just can't justify the price. And I have some. I have one Jason, one Freddy, one Michael, one Leatherface, and then I have two Xenomorphs, two Predators, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, the series, like the game. I have the Mummy. I have the Wolfman, and I have King Kong, like one version of King Kong. But that's it. I really um, I know they make some incredible figures, and okay, so you're into them. Yes and no. The only reason why I have the Mummy, the Wolfman, and King Kong, I got them really, really, really cheap. I think I only paid like $5 each for them or something. It was like a one of those like fun like deals. Um, and yeah, I basically told myself when I was like starting to maybe get into them years ago, I just want one of each of the main characters, like the Freddys, Michaels, and Jasons, and then one alien, one predator, and I was going to call it at that. But then I kind of came across a good deal on a second xenomorph. I came across a good deal on a second predator, and then the Uncharted one. That was just kind of one that I thought was kind of cool, so I purchased it. I want to get out of any other ones that I'd potentially get. I want to get one Pinhead, and maybe the Chucky, because I know they came out with a couple of different Chucky dolls. Um, but other than that, I really um, they are really like they're cool, but I just feel like they're for I mean $30 roughly each. Um, I just feel like I can't justify the cost. I can justify the cost for like what like spending $30 on a movie way quicker than I could for like a figure. Mainly because a figure just sits there. And I know some people would argue that I buy a movie for $30 and it sits on my shelf, which I definitely understand that. But um yeah, I just feel like when it comes to the figures, the NECA figures, um, I don't know. They're cool, but I don't know. I definitely couldn't like really get into them. Actually, in the last really really big haul, the big haul that I did, where I actually got a bunch of the stuff that you see behind me. Um, at that same house, the guy had two boxes, like decent size boxes, maybe a little smaller, like decent sized boxes of Predator figures and Alien figures. And I really wish I took the time to quickly look through those because I glanced at them, but I was so focused on the movies that I like it didn't even register in my brain. Um, and I kind of wish I like took a second to like look through them, but um, yeah, I don't know. I really just I knew someone who like was really into the figure world. Um, but I would personally rather own the movies that the characters are from than owning the little figures, if I had to choose between the two. So if I come across them, I'd say cheap enough. That's probably when I would like $5-6. I'd probably buy them. But other than that, they take up space and they sit on a shelf. Um, so yes. Um, let's see. I've been talking for about an hour now. Let's see here. But yes, I'm trying to think of anything else that I was going to discuss on this live stream. I feel like there's a few things. One thing I'm very, very excited for is the next video that I'll be releasing, which I'll give us a quick, like, verbally sneak peek of the video. But the next video I'll be releasing will be kind of, if you follow me over on Instagram over the last like 3-ish days, I've been working on a little project here in the movie room, and so I'm very excited to actually finish it up. I'll probably finish it up actually today, and maybe release a video sometime next week. But yes, I think what I'm doing is going to, I really like the project that I did. I think it's going to look way better. So that's all I'll say about it now. But so keep an eye out for that in the upcoming week. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because I'll probably be wrapping this up here, unless if there's anything else that people wanted to say, any other comments, questions, concerns, things that people wanted to talk about. I try to keep these roughly an hour long-ish. Sometimes they go longer, just depending on what people want to talk about. So, yes, unless if there's anything else that people wanted to say, I guess I'll end it here. And keep an eye out this week for another video on this channel. Very, very excited about that. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else I want to talk about. Yeah, sorry, I just completely blanked there for a minute. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for those who tuned in. I do appreciate it. And thank you if you are watching this on the playback. Thank you for making it this far in the video. Please feel free to leave a comment on anything that is discussed, or anything that was discussed in this live stream. I really do appreciate it. And I also do, I also really do appreciate, or I do take the time to read comments. So, yes, I will. I will read your comments if you do leave them. So, and I hope everybody out there has a fantastic week. Is this the first full week of March? No, it's not. Second full week of March. I don't even know what date it is right now. It's the 9th. So yes, this is the second week of March. I think, yeah. And I hope everybody out there is able to watch some fantastic movies. But if you are able to, go outside, get some sunshine, as if it's sunny and warm where you live. Take advantage of the nice weather. But I hope everybody out there has a great week. And let's see. Thanks, Cal. Always a fun time. I just figured out. What was going on with Instagram. Awesome. I'll look for your message over there. And again, yeah, if anybody out there wants to shoot me over a message, whatever, like, please feel free to leave a message on. Send me an email. Send me a message over on Instagram. If you want to send me a package, I have a PO box too, and I will open that up on camera. So I'll talk about that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, thank you guys again for taking the time to tune in. Thank you for those who left comments. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all next week. So take care, guys. Have a good one.